Hello, hello, hello. If we've never met, hey, what's up? I'm Leigh Brown, and you are logging in for a really action packed minute or 60 with me in this brand new thing called the Get Fearless Video Challenge. And of course, we're doing this over video right here from my office in Concord, North Carolina, which is actually not even a studio audience, it's just my actual office. And so, hey, it's not virtual. So as you guys get logged in, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. So today we're actually on day one. And during this hour together, this is live on all of my channels. So if you did not register for this video challenge and you just logged in because you said, oh, that's Leigh Brown. Hey, what's up, girl? So this is day one of my Get Fearless video challenge. Now, days 2 and 3 are only going to be in the Facebook group for this program because I don't really want to make everybody else go through this if they don't want to. And so make sure you're saying hey over here in the comments so I can see who's logged in. I see the eyeballs starting to show up and I want to see where you are. So also tell me your city and state because you never know, friends. You're in real estate. You might get a referral over here. You're a loan officer. You might have your next refi victim. Oh, wait, probably not right now, but who knows? Hey, because the markets are always changing. And also, just as you hear anything that sounds interesting to you or that you're determined to do, we can't really do 3 snaps in a Z formation over a video, but you can do a little fire emoji. So drop me a fire emoji out there because today we're going to talk about what your concerns are. Oh, hey, Monica. What's up, Columbia, Missouri? There comes, let's see, Lynchburg, Virginia, Phoenix, Arizona, Marysville, Michigan, Emily Wood, my team 23. What's up, Hickory? All right, so let me tell y'all what y'all said you need in this video challenge. A whole bunch. Like, all of y'all primarily said, I don't know what to talk about on video. You need content. And we're going to talk about content because, look, we know that the secret to marketing is not research and development, no matter how much money big companies pour into it. R&D actually means rip off and duplicate. And so we are going to have content ideas. And then the one that makes my heart sad is how many of y'all are afraid of looking like a fool. And I won't tell you which one of my beloved friends wrote that into her comments. And I love that woman. And how's she going to say she would ever look like a fool? A whole bunch of y'all say your problem with videos is not doing them. Well, I mean, honestly, I can't fix that for you, but I'm going to give you the tools. And if you play along with the challenge, you won't be able to say you're not doing video because you fixing to do it. Hey, what's up? All right. So our outcome over the next 3 days is that you will suck it up, get out of your own way and make a video. Then you'll realize it's not as scary as you thought because if you lean in close, I'm going to tell you one of my secrets. One of my secrets, I do not ever go back and watch my videos again, y'all. I make it, I post it, I look away and put my thing on mute because I can't stand the sound of my voice. And a lot of y'all are the same way. I guess if you're from up north, you probably don't know that you have that Yankee accent. And I'm Southern, and I know I sound like I'm straight out of the Beverly Hillbillies. And I can't stand how it sounds, even though it must work for selling houses because, hey. So there comes a fire emoji. Hey, extra credit to whoever typed that in over there. So over the next little bit of time, we're going to talk about video as a way to increase your inquiries from neighbors about utilizing your services in your small business. If you're a real estate professional, we're going to talk about how you can get more listings. And right now, listings are starting to ripen on the vine, shall we say, and also to build the relationships with other professionals so that you can build a stronger referral business, which is also why you got to use the chat stream and say hey to each other. Look, you don't just have to talk to me because after I read the comments, I won't get any content out to you. But if you see some friend of yours over here, post a fire emoji, then go comment on their post and say, hey, what's up? Good luck, good luck. All right, so day 1 is today. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Day 2 is tomorrow. That's Tuesday, June 21st, same bat time, same bat channel, 2 o'clock Eastern. Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel. Extra credit if you know who Adam West is. Shout out to the Gen Xers who always get ignored in demographic studies. So we're going to do this. And then there's also a free download you're going to have access to. And you want that because it's going to help you in day 2 and day 3. And there's also a link. Where am I going to post this link? Oh, Law, I could be sharing my slides. Look, here we go. Hey, what's up? Look, we're going to be confident. All right, there you go. This is the one to screenshot. Get that because that's where the Facebook group is located over there at the video challenge page. Now, we're putting your download there on this link. So really, screenshot this. That's, let's see, on your Mac, Shift Command 4. And I don't know what you PC people do because I'm out of practice on PCs or droids. That's foreign to me. So we're going to grab this. And so if you are here on day one by accident, you can link up right here. This is free, so you don't have to spend any money. And if you were already signed up, make sure you're going to show up there for days 2 and day 3. And I am turning pages here because I was given instructions by the amazing Michelle, who y'all have had to communicate with, and she totally knows what she's doing here. All right, so today we're going to talk about overcoming all these little sad limiting beliefs that y'all are killing me on, not knowing what to say. I don't like how I look. I look old. I look fat. I still, that one is killing. I don't look presentable because I'm on mom duty. Look, moms always look presentable. Your children don't care. Dog doesn't care. Neither do I. See, because there's a secret to that. Day 2, we're going to talk about recording and posting. I'm going to give you a framework. Legit. Like, you don't have to start from scratch. Framework, boom, boom, boom. And then day 3, we're going to talk about leveraging your content, which will help supercharge your business. And this is very important. So as we talk, look, I've really got to start clicking my slides so y'all can see all the things, but it's okay because these things live on the channels. If you're logging in late, you're logging in early, then make sure you know that on any of my social channels, all of the live videos, they record. And so the only thing you won't get to see is day 2 and 3, because that's in the Facebook group for the people who want to hang out with one another. So what I'm going to talk to you about here is that I can't change your business in 3 days. Okay, I know that's wild and crazy because everybody in entrepreneur world and realtor world wants a silver magic bullet. Oh, fix everything right now. In fact, I think the whole public would like that for the economy, but that's a whole different discussion. So I cannot change your business in 3 hours over 3 days, but I can point you in the right direction, and I can kind of kick you in the tail over the interwebs, which you know I love to do that. And if I were with you, I'd still cry with you and hug you right, like tight around the neck. But what we're going to have to realize is that some of you are going to take this 3 hours and you're like, that's all I need to Leigh Brown, and off you get. And I'm so glad you're here because I love it when you're successful. Just tag me sometimes so I can see it and I can fawn over you like your mama probably does or did. And for the rest of y'all, you're going to say, well, I mean, this is cool and all, but I'm not quite there yet. And so what's coming next is my video masterclass. It's called Get Fearless, and it's a 6-week digital class. There are worksheets because some of y'all need a little guidance. Just saying, you're not super organized. You're probably a little ADD if you're honest. And there's 4 live coaching calls involved in this. And so it's a whole kit and caboodle to basically hang out with you and help you get better there. So who is over there looking for donations? Whoever's watching my feed, go delete if I tell your I kalunki, because that looks like a scammer. Ignore that. All right. So if what you're looking for is somebody to hold your hand, I can't do it over 3 days. I'll give you a framework. And then if you do want somebody to hold your hand, get in my video masterclass. We're going to be doing a special promotion of it because it would normally be $1,500. And if you didn't know, my coaching calls are $500 an hour. So it's already a discount. I'm doing it for $1,250 because I'm very nervous about the way things are going in the economy. So I want to make sure you guys get as much as possible out of this. And so for that being said, let's roll. Whoever is monitoring my feed, please go block this scammer over here in the feed. All right. So I'm going to tell you why I started creating video content. This is story hour. So because I'm Leigh Brown, y'all know I love to tell some stories. I will tell you about when I started doing video. So I was in the business, of course, of real estate. I've been in it for 22 years, and the was in it moment, Lord, do you remember when the markets turned in the Great Recession? I remember it was July 31st of 2007 in the Charlotte market. Now you have to know it hit other markets earlier. Here, I knew it hit because my preferred lender at the time was American Home Mortgage. And if you're thinking, Leigh, I don't remember them, that's because that was the day they closed up shop. And I had 7 closings at the table on that last day of July in 2007. And they had packages, but they were dry closings because the money stopped like that. That's how fast our markets changed. Well, quickly I became a person who had to learn foreclosures and short sales and all of the different things to help distressed people financially. And then I had the worst situation I could have imagined, because if you're an early career realtor, you should know you've never seen everything in real estate. And all my old guard over here should probably throw up a little flame because you know you don't know what's coming. And yes, hearts on fire, get extra credit, Michelle, making the triad look good. So the reality is that when the markets change, you have to change with it, which is another reason you have to get right into your framework of video right now as we're in a changing market. Well, during those ugly years, I represented a dear, wonderful human who was going through a short sale. And it was painful and it was awful. And it was a 6-month process. And the lender on the other end was Bank of America. And I had another wonderful agent in the market, and she was top of her game. I mean, honestly, there are so many good realtors in the marketplace. She represented the buyer on this short sale that I had. Cute little old house. We managed to get the approvals. We got that bad bear closed. The papers were signed by Bank of America, and my seller, her buyer, signed their mortgage, changed the keys, and moved in. 1 week after move-in, I get a panicked phone call from that buyer's agent, and she said, Leigh Brown, you're not going to believe what happened. And I said, girl, try me. And so she told me that her people were home unpacking their boxes. All right. While they were unpacking their boxes, there was a on the door. And they opened the door. And there were 2 very giant, burly, inked up men out there with guns in the waistband. And if you didn't know, the people who come to your house with guns in the waistband but politely knock first are what we call a trash out crew. They were there on behalf of Bank of America to empty out this house that Bank of America said had been foreclosed on. And so they were panicked because, y'all, if that buyer had not been home, that house would have been emptied out, lickety split. And so that agent didn't know what else to do. So she called me and I called Bank of America. And well, Bank of America didn't call anybody back. I emailed them and it bounced because the file was closed. And so I said, I don't have anything else I can possibly do. And so I grabbed my little phone, which at the time was probably a BlackBerry, because I don't think the Nextels had video, or maybe it was a super early iPhone. I can't even remember. And I didn't even hold it myself because this was before selfies, right? That's how medium aged I am. So I called my partner, Virginia Halter, who's still an agent here in my office. I said, Virginia, hold my phone, which was a different connotation of people say now. I needed her to hold it as my camera. And I started saying what had gone on. And I called out Bank of America in this video. And then I posted it to YouTube. Because again, 2008 or 9, whatever year this was, it was before all these other channels got big. And if you didn't know it, lots of companies have little people who work in unlit basements in their mama's houses monitoring social media looking for ads. And so some little person for Bank of America saw the at Bank of America and watched the video and said, we got a live one here. And not 10 minutes later, I got a phone call from an executive vice president. If you know anything about the banks, everybody's a vice president, but there was an executive and he's like, I'm looking for Leigh Brown. And I was like, you got her. And so we had this whole story here about what had gone on. And it turns out the foreclosure side of the bank was not talking to the short sale side of the bank. So they didn't know what was going on. And the bank didn't want to do anything for this buyer, but we had a little come to Jesus meeting. And so they decided they had ought to. And so the buyer was taken care of. We took care of the other agent because, I mean, her communication saved the day. And after all of that rigmarole, I realized, y'all, the power here had nothing to do with the story. The power had nothing to do with the market that we were in. All the power came from the video. And that's how impactful it is when your voice is heard, your client's story is being told by a professional, and people can see your voice or see your voice. They kind of see it actually in your energy, and they see your eyes. They know that what you're doing is impactful. Well, I should tell you that at that point, I got super consistent. And all of y'all who said consistency is your problem, that I fixed it right then, I didn't. I made that video. It went viral. It was my first viral experience. It landed on CNBC and The Economist and The Consumerist and all these websites. It was called the best bank rant ever. I think some of y'all probably met me there, and it was early days. But I didn't yet understand how it had a place in my day-to-day business. So that was when I had to overcome my own problem of consistency because, like many of you, I didn't want to do video. I didn't know what to say. I didn't have time. That's my favorite excuse. I didn't have time to make video because I was in the top tier of Charlotte agents at that time. I may have even been number 3, 2, or 1 because I had sold a bunch of houses at that time. So I told myself I didn't have time to do marketing. Right? It's kind of ridiculous now. And so what I had to figure out was, how do I make this work? How do I make this a part of a business so that I can tell the public what a realtor does, so that I can tell the public what this realtor does, so that I can get a really giant, huge, grumpy bank to respond and do right by people? That, y'all, is the difference maker. Okay. So that is what we are doing when we look at video and when we look at how it becomes a part of your plan. You have to want to do better. Okay. So that's where I got started with it. And the first thing I had to admit myself was I look like this. And you see, I keep tugging at this dress because apparently I should have put a safety pin in it. I mean, I'll just tell you that right out. Video makes you have to get real honest with yourself. And I had to get honest with the fact that I wasn't being consistent all the time and that I was not using my power to its fullest. And we all have power as humans. You have this power not about yourself, but about taking care of other people. And video is this wild way to lean into it. But you have to decide that the way you look is okay. And that if you're middle-aged, that's okay. And if you're a bottle blonde like me, that's okay. And that whatever weight you are and age you are and where you live is okay. Because the reality is, y'all, people love you. Oh, they love you so much. You're the only one saying ugly things to yourself. So let's talk about what your fears are. Let me read off to you some of the commentaries I got here. All right. I don't like to see or hear myself on video. I just told you I didn't like me either. So we're sisters there. I am new to the real estate business and I'm still learning. Well, that's the best time ever to make video because the bulk of the public loves what realtors do. And that's why HGTV is so popular. And so you want to talk about things that you're learning. I guarantee there's some 40-year pro over here in the comments that probably needs a refresher course too. And then we have people that say, I don't know how to do technology. Okay, so when you logged into this video, you must know something about technology. You probably know how to use a cell phone. And honestly, after COVID, I think we all know how to use Zoom. And so your excuses are pretty much out the window. And then we have the people who said, I haven't done any. I love that honesty because you're here today because you kind of know you're behind the 8 ball and we have to fix that. We have the person who said, I don't see I need to do it because everybody else is doing it. Everybody else isn't doing it. Y'all listen, I'm going to tell you a little mathematical secret here that will kind of flabbergast you because it blows my mind. We have 1.6 million realtors in the country. Now, that does not include the licensees who have chosen not to subscribe to the code of ethics. They are just rolling around with a license and they're not ready to be a full-time all-in professional realtor, but they might be full-time and all-in, just haven't joined the ranks yet. So if that's you, you can come on too. But anyway, a 1.6 million realtors, okay? Now, we have in our country an estimated population of 330 million, and I cannot do math right now. I don't have my glasses on. So we're going to divide 330 million by 1.6 million, which means 1 out of every 206 Americans is a realtor. 1 out of every 206 Americans is a realtor. What that means to you, friends, is that you've got this circle of people who rely on you for information and they trust you. They know you. They go to church with you. Their kids are at the ball field with you. They see you at the Harris Teeter. They spend time with you. And that's who they want to hear from. And so if you think everybody else is making video, well, what if they're watching a video from somewhere clear across the country and that's not relevant to the zip code where you live? Who is it? Is it Al Roker that likes to say, let's do the weather in your neck of the woods? Well, that's kind of what video is for. Unless somebody is making the exact comments you would make about your exact zip code, you're probably missing a moment. And think about this too. In those people that you serve, the people that love you, trust you, rely on you, how many realtors are in that little tiny circle? Probably 1 or 2, because honestly, the best realtors have their best friends as realtors because that's what we talk about all the time. But the rest of the people in that circle would like to hear from you. And so that's what we're talking about here. So let's just look at something here. Look at that's my old hair. I told y'all I got my bottle blonde. Well, that was my old brassy blonde before I found Noel Lance, who is a gift straight from God himself to make my hair look good. And I will tell you that video's not scary, but you have to decide that you're not the center of the world, which actually is kind of weird. I'm probably telling you to put yourself in the center of your videos, but it's not about you. It's about who's going to receive your message. That's the difference in a narcissist and a servant leader. A narcissist says, I'm amazing. I've got all the answers and talks about themselves all the time. A servant leader puts information out to reach other people. So I want you to get over you and get about those neighbors who need the information that you have. So what I want you to know, it's not scary. You told yourself it is, but you're telling yourself a falsehood. So stop it. You know how in the cartoons you had that angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other one? The angel on your shoulder is Leigh Brown. I'm telling you that you can and you should. And frankly, it's not that bad. And then the devil on your shoulder, that's the version that tells you that you are just not worth a toot and have nothing to say, and gave me all these negatory things over here. So we don't listen to Satan, because he might be active in the world, but he ain't in charge. Now, you don't have to have a lot of money to make this work. This is my camera, y'all. And we will talk a lot in the next little challenge bit about technology and equipment, but I rely on my iPhone very much so. The skill is using the tools you have, and y'all knew that, right? So if you're in real estate, people always say, what's the best client relationship manager, CRM? You know, the answer is the one you will use. So you don't have to have a lot of money. YouTube doesn't cost you any money. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, TikTok, they don't cost money to be on the platform. What it's going to cost you is a little bit of time. All right. And we can talk about creating that. That's up on you, right? Remember, if you are getting to something that's going to strike you home, put me a little fire emoji so I can see the fire come through, because it's making my heart glad. And remember, you don't have to be glamorous. As y'all know, I'm an outlet shopper. That's why this doesn't fit quite right, because I bought it at the White House Black Market outlet, and I need a safety pin really bad. Look, but it's better off doing video with all your flaws than trying to be perfect and never getting it done, because that's our problem most of the time, y'all. We don't get it done because we got in our own way. And I will also tell you that if you're worried about how your hair looks, nobody else is. And if you think you have crow's feet, nobody's going to see it except you. And all of the things that you tell yourself, they're just not true. And you don't have to be a fashion plate. In fact, I'll tell you a little secret from the viewpoint of watching my stats. I've been doing video now for over a decade, and I can look at all the videos I put out there. Y'all, the ones where I look kind of, people click on those far more than if I go, because I know how to smile quickly. In fact, one of the comments somebody made here was I sound scripted because I've done too many videos, and I totally understand that. And that's why I don't go off a script, because it's too easy for me to jump into. And the public doesn't like that scripted mode. They like the real version of you with all your flaws. They love your flaws, because when you make video with flaws, it reminds your neighbors that you're normal. And the realtor that people want, the loan officer people want, the person at the jewelry store they want, the restaurant they want to visit, they want to connect. There is no better way to connect with people than by not being perfect. And I can't tell you that again. Look, this is why churches, when they are operating correctly, are so powerful, because you're in a whole community full of people that are trying to get better together. Now, there's usually some Bertha up in the amen corner, and we can't control her. We have to let her go. And so the person out there that needs to judge you, let them go. Just let them move along and find somebody else to trouble, because we're not going to be troubled by that. And I'll just remind you that you have to do this. The comment that was made earlier, everybody else is doing it. Yeah, they're not. They're not. You're telling yourself that, okay? So I want you to know that if you do something, it is more than your competitors are doing, because they're feeling all the same fears that you're feeling. They are as chicken as you are about doing video. And so amongst y'all, somebody's got to do it. So it just as well be you. So let me tell you why you want to do it, okay? It's very simple. If you make a static post, and I blurred the names to protect the guilty here as I skimmed this straight off of my friends list on Facebook. If you say, look, this first one on the screen here is an open house that has one share and one like, and the one share and the one like probably came from the homeowner, right? Because the seller likes to see you doing stuff, but the person buying their house probably isn't the seller. The person buying the house is probably somebody else who's yet to enter the chat. And then this next one had, well, she had a different picture. It's a little bit less open housey, a little more about the agent, and it had 5 likes and 2 shares. Okay, so she got her mom involved. The thing is, video is engaging in a way that a static post can never be, because of the conversation, right? So we're over here talking over here in the chat, and here comes a wonderful comment. Don't let perfect ruin good, Janet. I freaking love that. It's totally true. And I know you hate to admit your husband's right, but you know, Father's Day was yesterday. It's a good time to say he was right. Reality is, with video, we can converse, especially with live video. And when you think about it, the conversing can happen even after the videos over. The conversations are very organic and very dynamic, and that's not going to happen with a picture or with your beautifully well-written 47 paragraphs that nobody's going to read. I want you to think about what is showcased in video. What's showcased in video is your expertise, your eyes, your energy, your voice. And if somebody sees you, hears you, listens to you, and doesn't like you, that's okay, because we have so many realtors out there. It's probably better if they find the right fit. The loan officer world is very crowded. I mean, the home inspector world is crowded. And we should all be looking for the best fit. And that's what video can do. It can showcase how you are a best fit for somebody and how you can lower their defenses so they can talk to you, and then you can help, because, right, we want to be servant leaders using things just like video. So I want to also point out to you here the video that got all the traction that I'm showing you. Of course, it's one of mine because, hey, it's my class. But this is one of my lenders. He's with Guild Mortgage. And I said to Joseph, I said, hey, do you want to do a live video with me? And of course, he said yes, because if you're kind of a bossy pants, people will say yes. And most of y'all just need to lean into your bossy pantsedness a little bit more. So if you don't know what to say on video, the easiest thing to do is showcase the other experts in your life. So this goes back to being the servant leader versus the narcissist, right? A narcissist wants to just use the word I and talk about how much they know everything. The servant leader says, I would like to learn something here too. So you invite somebody into the conversation and start asking questions. And in fact, again, with video, the questions might come into your comments and you can say, hey, what should a buyer be doing right now at a 6% 30-year fixed? What are the options for an FHA buyer, a VA buyer, all of these things that you might know this much about, your professional lender knows this much about. So bring them in and look how it changes things. Now you have thousands of views and hundreds of shares, and you're also bringing a ton of real, actionable information to the market when they want it. Not waiting a year to do it, not waiting 6 months, not waiting on somebody else, okay? So you just have to think about the fact that if you want to be a leader in your business, you've got to be a thought leader. Being a thought leader starts with things like video. So let me ask you who you are online, okay? Now, this will be a little bit painful for some of you because you haven't really given thought to the shifting and shaping of your brand. I will tell you, my brand has changed over time, and it should, because I'm older. I know a lot more now than I did 10 years ago. My hair is way better. I run more than I did. My kids are teenagers and not littles anymore. What is shifting and changing in your life? And that is something that should be shifting and changing your approach. Because, friends, the thing I hate the most about the cancel culture era is that we want to tell people they are forever frozen in whatever mistake they made a year ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I don't believe that. You can see it on my whiteboard behind me. Can you see that? My mantra is be kind, be cool, and be gracious. We've got to learn how to show some grace. And so grace involves change, growth, and moving. So when I ask you who you are online, I want you to go look at what you're posting out there. I want you to look at the message you're putting forth to the public. Are you going to tell them that you're a human? Most of y'all that follow me, you know that I'm married and I have 2 teenagers and I've been in real estate forever. A lot of y'all know that I used to sell chainsaws. You also know that I grew up here on the farm and I love my chickens. Well, when people know extra things about you, it adds depth to you. And depth is one of the things that's sadly lacking in today's world of headline clickers and people who just skim 2 seconds of information and move on. So when I ask you who you are, of course, you know, I wrote a book about this in 2016. It was my first effort at a book and still my bestseller, Outrageous Authenticity. And it's talking about how do you dig through all of the things that you're supposed to do and supposed to say to get through to who you are so that you can attract people to you. Because the reality is you, my friends, are the single best secret to your real estate, your lending, your small business. You, the personality that you have is what makes people want to come in and spend money with you because they're drawn to something. So a call that came in today to list a house for sale said they valued the fact that they know my belief system and they love that I love the country. Well, I put that in a lot of my posts. I'm forever talking about my patriotism. And in fact, if you're at the Harrisburg July 4th parade, you're going to get a rubber ducky this year. Hey, that's a new surprise for y'all. But when you let people know what you care about, it means it's okay for them to call you. And that's really impactful. Now, what if it's somebody that doesn't like you because of that? That's all right. They can call somebody else. We're in a world that is so big and so bountiful. There's so much opportunity to create connectivity. And when somebody tells you that's what drew them in, well, now you know how to react to them. And how powerful is that, that we can create a better conversation? So, what you'll find is that knowing more about you allows you to post more about you, and now your video creation comes more easily. All right, so I'm going to be giving away some copies of my book. By the way, I'll show it to you again. It is on Amazon, but I know that not everybody wants to support that behemoth, and I have some free copies from my storage unit right here. And so just make some comments over here, and I'm going to be picking my favorite comments that say something nice, and we'll send you a prize. Although actually, before I send you a prize, you'll get a direct message asking for your address, because I got to know how to send it to you. So for real, so throw me up a little firebomb over there if you hear something good. Now, this is one of your downloads. So for those of y'all that grabbed the link earlier, and if you didn't, we'll repost it. Don't worry, my loves. I want you to work on your own value proposition. When I say your value proposition, I'm talking about digging a little deeper. Look, if you're a realtor, your value proposition is not that you unlock doors. Your value proposition is not that you can take some photos. Your value proposition has to do with you and the knowledge and the compassion and how you bring that to bear for the consumer. So who you are matters. So for this 3-day challenge, I know you don't want homework because you're realtors. Okay, so I love you so much. But I want you to pull this down and fill it out. It's going to take you a few minutes. Cut off your notifications. Cut it off. Cut off the noise and the music and the Facebooks, and you got that scroliosis going on. Cut it all off. I want you to take a look at this and fill it out. And so what we're going to talk to you here is about what kind of a servant leader you are. Are you a competitor? Do you love being number one? Are you an educator? Do you lean in and make sure people are fully up to speed on what you're talking about? Are you a physician? Are you diving deep and doing some triage before you treat? Or are you just straight up serving people for the love of them? And there's so many different angles to go after here. So you're going to download this worksheet, all right? And then you're going to post it in the group before tomorrow, all right? This is heavy homework, y'all. Several hundred of y'all signed up for this free 3-day challenge. I'm going to see how many actually download the worksheet and upload it to the Facebook group. And then we're going to have some more prizes to be given out, okay? And this is really important, because one thing I'll tell you is that real estate is a wildly competitive market. And I love that it's competitive, because I have to get better every day. My agents have to get better every day. We have resources amongst ourselves where we're talking to each other. We're sharing information. One of the pieces of information I got today is dropping as a video tomorrow, because as I educate amongst my particular office of awesomeness, we then take it out to the world. And all of those things matter to the public, because they're seeking somebody who can talk to them. So I want you to look at this. This was a comment that I got back about the value proposition worksheet from Latasha Williams. Hey, Latasha. So she said that she was looking at this, trying to figure out where she falls in with the 4 roles, because most of us, when we look at it, say, I'm all of them. Okay, so you probably are all of them from time to time. And we do chameleon. So great salespeople and connectors, we totally chameleon. But the challenge we have is figuring out where our strengths are, because y'all, I'm going to tell you this. You know that I work out mainly for your safety, not necessarily just so I can eat what I want to eat, but I run because it clears my head. But as a result, I have bingo wings because I'm not lifting enough weights. Now, I do lift weights sometimes, and I run all the time. Which one's stronger, my cardio or my weights? Well, my muscles aren't as strong because I don't focus on it. You with me on this? So you might be all 4 of the roles, but whichever one you're doing the most is where you're going to be the best. And that's okay. Can we also acknowledge that it is okay to be the best? It's okay to be awesome. And it's okay to say somebody else is better than you as something else. I mean, honestly, that's a gift that you have. That's why I surround myself with great agents in my office. Each one of them brings a different skill to the table. And guess what tells that story? Your video proposition. So I want you to do this before tomorrow's session. Are you with me on this? Okay. Throw me up a fire if you're already downloading your sheet and ready to put it in the challenge group for tomorrow. So now we're going to have some questions that I'm going to answer for you here while we're thinking about how we're going to get this done over the next couple of days. And let's see, time. How do I find time to edit video afterwards? Well, I'm going to tell you two things, okay? One is you may or may not edit. Post anyway. It's better to post an unedited video than it is to sit around trying to figure out how to edit it. Now, if you're good at editing, you figure out what tools you have. My main editing comes from the auto button in my iPhone. I hit the record button, I start talking, might have to start over, and then I just move that slider over and cut out the front part. And at the end, where I'm cutting the video off, it takes me a minute to get my finger over the button, and I cut that part out too. That's the bulk of my editing. You don't see a whole lot in the middle, and some of that comes because I've been doing video for so long. So I'll also tell you a little secret here about video is that the more you do it, the easier it gets. Those of y'all that are worried about uhs and ums and likes, that happens when your brain wants to fill up the pause space. So what I want you to do is record yourself talking about anything. In fact, if you're a realtor, record yourself on your listing presentation or your buyer consultation. Just use the voice recorder on your phone. There's a voice memo built in. Record that. Now go back and transcribe it and start doing your little hash marks and start marking down all the little things that you do. When you have to actually count up the uhs, the ums, the likes, you'll stop. There is this reality that comes in when we're honest with ourselves, and you realize all of those are filler words. One thing that drives me absolutely crazy about the young people, which is also how I know I'm medium aged, I call them the young people, the use of the word like is basically an epidemic. And I believe they're using it because their vocabularies have been shortened by a loss of attention to the English language. If you're an English speaker, whatever language you're in, I'm sure the young people have some word they've added in as well. We just have to be thoughtful, which is also a beautiful thing about video. When you're slightly thoughtful about it, and you will be because you want to look decent, you want to sound decent. If you put a little thought in, you realize that pausing is powerful. So I want you to remember that as you're putting this together, practice on yourself. And then when you make it, you'll be thinking, which means you won't have to edit nearly as much. The other secret you should know is that when you make a mistake, people are going to love you more. So when your words trip up and you stumble up, or maybe you say something out of turn and you have to fix it, people will love you. The only person that's going to hurt you is that person who's looking to slice and dice it for social media. If you're, say, running for office, people will be looking for ugly things to say about you. And you have to choose what you're going to listen to and what you're not going to listen to. Actually, let me answer a question right here. Wanda, I don't know why your screen went dark. Mine is fine. So hopefully yours just went crazy. And we're going to talk about some of the actual technical things over the next 2 days. And I'll answer a good question over here. I don't mind doing video, but I don't know how best to use it. That's also one of the things we're going to talk about in day 2 and 3 is where do you put it? How do you get it out there? How do you let people see and hear what you're saying? The biggest thing, though, is I want you to be thinking where you enjoy spending time. So each one of y'all is on a different channel. Some of y'all are watching here on YouTube. Some are on LinkedIn. Some are on Facebook. Some are on my personal profile, and some are on my business page. Wherever you're hanging out with me right now is probably a channel you enjoy, except for Instagram, which I enjoy, but StreamYard doesn't read over there. So my Instagram friends will have to load you something later. But once you know where you enjoy spending time, that, Cheryl, is one of the secrets to helping you get this video showcase. All right, let's see. Oh, I don't know where to start. Okay, I don't know what to say, when to say it. Guess what? That's tomorrow. Tomorrow we're putting together a framework, and you're going to be done with a video that's going to make you look and sound like a serious professional, because I'm going to give you a script for it too so that you don't have to stress out about it. I don't like how I look. I can't change what you think about you, but I can tell you what it says in Psalm 139, which is, y'all with me, right? You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so whatever it is, the package that you're in is the right package to be in. But if you think about it too much, you know what they say is that a small package, a self-focused package is a small package indeed. So we're not going to focus on ourselves. And let's see, getting started and maintaining content. Oh, that's my girlfriend, Jill. She knew I'd talk about this, right? So we're also going to talk about how you can create that content mapping so that you can put a whole plan together. And I know that you're busy, and I'm so grateful that you carved out this little bit of time. We're going to talk about how I crush out all of my videos, because people are always like, well, how do you get so much done? I'm organized. I can help you get organized. I take that back. I can give you the framework for getting organized. You have to do it. And thank you, Omaha Real Estate. If you are signed up for the challenge and you are in the Facebook group, that's where day 2 and day 3 will live. If you are here by accident, it's because we love you. Yes, I can get you signed up for day 2 and day 3. So no stress there. All right, let's see. Oh, words on the screen. Mindy, that's a great question to ask, because captions are massively important in the world right now. That's what makes your videos compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And we all want to be compliant so that as many neighbors as possible can hear what you have to say. We'll talk about the fact that Facebook has captions, YouTube has captions, but you can manage your own yourself, because if you're like me and everybody else has an accent, but these computers don't understand you, you need that edit capability, and we will totally add that in. And you should know, too, that if you're like me as well, because I'm pretty sure we're all similar, my phone stays on quiet all the time. It's always volume down. I don't want to hear it dinging and chirping. It drives me crazy. So I leave it on quiet. So if I'm watching your video, if you don't have captions, I'm gone, because I want to be able to hear what you're saying without listening to it. And plus, I might be somewhere I'm supposed to pay attention, like a meeting, like Zoom. If y'all didn't know it, I can tell when you're not paying attention because you're looking down a little bit at the corner of your screen, so you can't see my phone. But as your presenter, I would know. I know y'all got good at this over the last 2 years. And how long should videos be? Emily, that's a great question, because you have different lengths for different platforms. YouTube takes care of longer content. In fact, YouTube prefers content that's over 5 minutes long, and they love these FAQ videos. If you ever wonder why you log in to watch something like I follow a lot of homesteaders because I'm trying to be a good chicken mom. The good videos are always 11, 12, 17 minutes long, and I'm thinking, oh, please don't make me. But I found I can skip the first couple of minutes to get to the meat. They're doing that to get to the top of the search algorithms on YouTube. And then you go back to places like Instagram. If you're doing reels, they just expanded it to 90 seconds, but your best reels are going to be 30 seconds or shorter. TikTok is going to be very short as well. Facebook, 1:40 is your max. I mean, they're different on each platform. And this goes back to knowing exactly which platform is the one you enjoy spending time with. So make sure that you are posting your questions and you are posting your value proposition into the Facebook page if you want to win a copy of Outrageous Authenticity. And I do have several copies to give away because, like I said, they're in my storage unit and they kind of need to get moved along here. All right, so what I want you to make a comment for over here is, if you have already gotten yourself some energy or an idea, post your little fire emoji if you're excited for day 2. And I love that, Ray. The captions help you retain information. Same here, friend, because I don't retain orally. I retain visually, and then I really retain kinesthetically. That's why I had to print off all your little pages, and I circle all the ones that really are jumping out at me. And especially this person who said they're afraid of what people think, even though I know I shouldn't care. Y'all know that old adage, right? What other people's opinion is of you is none of your business, right? So we can't worry about other people. Go back to what you learned from your mama and your daddy when you headed to kindergarten, and they said you don't have to please everybody. And then the phrase we kind of need to bring back in the world is, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. You have to make a really honest and purposeful decision that other people's words aren't going to hurt you. You have to decide to be tough if you're going to do video. All right. As you get started in this, people are going to love on you. They're so proud of you. As you start to get really impactful and your views start to grow. And in fact, where's my friend who is from Arizona? She is already doing an influencer kind of level business. She's kind of a big old honking deal. And I would imagine, I can't find her name now, she probably knows what I'm talking about. Trolls come out from under the bridge when you get popular. And if you have decided that the trolls can't bother you, then you don't feed the trolls. You hear me on this? I learned this the first time I ran for office. Don't feed the trolls. And when they say ugly things about you, just, you have to pretend they don't exist. I don't care if the world's told you to be leaning into victimhood and feeling like you've been beat upon. No, don't accept it. Accept the David Goggins mindset. And if you don't know, David Goggins is like my hero, and his book is Can't Hurt Me. You have to adopt that mentality, because the reality is that one person might be ugly to you, but 10,000 people are going to say, thank you for sending this person to me because I feel connected. And that's what video does. People don't feel a connection over text. They don't feel it over email. They get a glimmer of it over the telephone. But video, y'all, is such a connective force. So what we're going to do is get back together tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And we're going to go over your value proposition. And as we go over your value proposition, Mary May, that is where we're going to talk about creating this content mapping and keeping you interesting. You're going to get the framework tomorrow, because by day 3, which is Wednesday of this week, this is going to be really impactful for you. And spoiler alert, my baby turns 16 on Thursday. And so if you really want to honor the time that we are spending together here, you're going to do what I'm suggesting so that you can make my 16-year-old proud that a bunch of medium-aged real estate and lending and random adult types are doing video, because frankly, my kids keep saying that middle-aged moms ruined Instagram. And so I guess we should ruin TikTok too. So there's your link. If you're here by accident on day 1 and you aren't signed up for day 2 and day 3, which are going to be in the Facebook group, I can't stress that enough. So if you're here just because you found me, I'm so glad. Hey, what's up? Join back up over here, leighbrown.com/training/video-challenge. Get your download, fill out your value proposition. You're going to show back up 2 o'clock tomorrow, 2 o'clock Wednesday. And if you know a realtor friend, a lender friend, somebody in your world that kind of needs a little zhush in their life right now, because the markets are making all of us want to grab a crystal ball and say, what is going to happen next? This is the perfect time for you to be dialed in over here with me so that you can take the 3rd quarter and then the 4th quarter by storm. And then frankly, the rest of the world will be so delighted to get your information. Your business will respond. So let's see if there's anything over here that I missed as Tickety Talk. Okay, that's hilarious. I'm going home to tell my kids I'm going to get on Tickety Talk and they're going to die. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And you're overthinking your background, that it's not video appropriate. Look, my office is kind of a mess, but I will tell you a secret. My friend Alex sent me that cushion with the black on it that's behind my Concord cushion, and it's wildly inappropriate language, which is why it's covered up. So if you don't think your video appropriate, go on and make something. I imagine in this group, we'll find somebody that can judge you. And that's what we will do for each other, is support each other with positive, constructive criticism, content, and ideas. Not being trolls, but being supportive of each other. So I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Y'all go enjoy the rest of your Monday. And thanks for joining in on day 1 of our video challenge.